Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Creation Miss Couture, and today is going to be the beginning of my version of Vlogmas. So basically what we're going to do from on Monday, no not Monday, from Tuesday to Friday until the 25th of December, so Christmas for me, we are going to have a special episode where I'm going to be dyeing my winter collection, and we're going to try to incorporate new colors to the collection because I first developed this collection in 2023, so it's going to be the third year that I offer it as dyed to order. So I'm very excited to be incorporating new colors as much as I can. So this is what we're going to do. And also, since it's almost the holiday season, we are also going to be highlighting another small business for to give you some ideas for the fiber artist in your life. So today, the first fiber artist, well, not fiber artist, the first small business that I want to highlight is another business that makes beautiful bags. So the bag is from Atelier Nekozuki, and I think she's in the Edmonton area or the Calgary area. I think she's in the Calgary area. And she makes super nice project bags. So this one, it almost looks like a pie bag. So you can put your yarn ball in here, and it's easy to have your yarn in here and work on it at the same time. And she uses mostly fabrics coming from Japan. So this beautiful cat that it looks very much like Zoe. So the fabric is from Japan. So it's very fun. I will have her website and her YouTube channel down in the description box below. So if you want to give her a follow or just check out her bags, you're more than welcome to do so. So today we're going to be doing the first color in the Vlogmas section. So we're going to be doing Winter Wonderland. So let's get into this. Hello friends, today I'm bringing you with me so we can work on my winter collection. So this collection first launched in 2023 now. It's been a while, and I still really love the colors. So the winter collection is a collection that comes back every year for the holiday season, for the winter period. Yes, there is some colors that have more of a Christmas connotation. However, I was going for more wintry vibe. So this is why we have some colors that are more red and green and some colors that are more wintry, and I just want to make them. So I haven't really done them for a full year now, so might as well just take the time and bring you with me in a winter wonderland, because this is the first color we're going to be working on. I have the intention of dyeing the entire collection and adding some new colors. My goal is definitely to be able to take new pictures, because I haven't taken new pictures since, I would say, since 2023. So I feel like I'm due to do a new photo shoot for those colors. So we will be working on that. And also, I have some markets pop up to do. So I want to have some of those colors on hand for people, because I think that's important. Okay, and here we go. So we just did our stock solution for this color. And I didn't tell you, but I was wearing this because it's very important to be wearing a mask as soon as you open one of those jars with the fine particles. So it doesn't have to be this specific brand, but you need to make sure that it is a mask that you will be able to avoid any fine particle into your lungs, because we only have one pair of lungs, so please protect them. I know I'm very stingy with this, but it's very important to have proper protection for this. Okay, so I have my stock solution, and Winter Wonderland is a pretty simple color, but very efficient, and we're going to need this for speckles. So I really like this color. It's very, it's very wintry. So we just did our stock solution. So now we can go into our pan. Okay, there we go. So for Wonderland, I want a low immersion. So this is why we only have 4 cups of tap water. And yes, I just added my citric acid and citric sorry. Citric acid wise, the rule of thumb is always about 1 tablespoon per per pound, or 454 grams of fiber. So this is what we've got in here. There we go. So one thing I think I forget to mention when we're working with yarn. So you see that usually I have my skeins in a bucket of water right by my side when we are working. So this is what I call pre-soaking, and this is part of the yarn preparation that you need to do for most yarn. Not all yarn needs to be pre-soaked to have the color that you intend. However, for best results, I would recommend to always pre-soak your yarn or your fiber, so that way you have a better color penetration with the yarn. Because what happens when you don't pre-soak is that it's going to be more difficult for the color to penetrate your yarn and your fiber. So you might have an uneven color penetration. You might have an uneven color for the final result. So if you're going for a tonal, it's not guaranteed that you will actually have a tonal. It will turn out to be a little bit more variegated, which is not necessarily what we want. So this is just like something to think about when you are working with your yarn. And another thing that I always like to check with skeins of yarn is to make sure that the ties that are there by the manufacturer or the mill, they're not too tight, because if they are too tight, it will create a whole lot of natural resistance. So you will have issues with the color. I have an example over here that I'm going to show you. So here you can see that I didn't notice, but the tie was too tight. So we have white patches on a yarn that is supposed to be black. So just so for your information, to make sure that you understand what's going on over there. So I turned on the heat on this, and now I'm going to grab my respirator once again because I'm going to be speckling. So please wear your respirator. We only have 1 pair of lungs, and we want to make sure that we protect them. Okay. And I also will grab my gloves because I don't want to manipulate the dry powder with my bare hand. And I'm being very delicate because true black can absolutely spread, and I don't want that to happen too much. There we go. That's good. So it's just a very tiny bit, and you can see here where we have a little bit more of it, that it will spread a little bit more. So that's that. And now that it is no longer in the dry powder form, and that it has stuck to the yarn because the yarn is currently wet due to it being pre-soaked and everything, I don't need my respirator because it's no longer volatile, so I don't need to protect my lung as much. You can wear your mask the entire time if you are more comfortable that way. There is absolutely no issue with that. I'm just letting you know that if you don't feel comfortable with the mask for a long period of time, you can remove it once it has hit the yarn and that it is no longer in the dry powder form. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let it cook for 30 minutes because we've just reached the right temperature, because I can see some bubbles. You don't want the water to be boiling. You want the water to be between 85 to 95 Celsius. So it's just before the boiling point. So when I can see some bubbles, I usually do it slightly, how can I say? I turn it down. Oh, wow, my words and my brains are not friends today. That's what I can tell you. Okay, so I will see you in a little bit when it's been a half an hour. So I should probably put my timer before I forget, because whoa, I know myself and I would forget. In 30 minutes. Okay, there we go. See you in 30 minutes. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to be washing off Winter Wonderland first. This one, the only bleeding we might see would be if we had clumps of dry powder for the True Black. So this is the only thing that I would have in mind would be that. So what I'm going to do, yeah, maybe a little bit of the blue might be bleeding, but we didn't use that much for the quantity. So we're going to let it rest in here for a few minutes, like 15, and I'm gonna come back with this to work with this. Okay, let's look at this. What do we have? Oh, I'm missing one over here. Perfect. Okay. Oh, yay! We don't have any bleeding. Amazing. I like to let it soak, because usually what you're going to do at home is let your yarn soak, your finished object soak. So that's why I like to let it soak. And here's the final result of dyeing our Winter Wonderland. So I just wanted to show you how this will look on a knit object. So this sample is knitted. I used this color on the suri, and it was held together with my color Snowflake. I'm gonna show you 1 second. Okay, so Snowflake looks like this. So it's a very pale, very pastel blue, and so it's held together. So this is why we don't have as much white. Where we have the white patches here, it's like for this, it is more on blue than it is on white. So this will show you why I like to speckle when it's twisted, because the speckle are more evenly distributed through your final piece. If you're wondering, this is a super cute sample of the so it's the Sweater of Dream by Perfectly Knotted. So it's a made-to-measure pattern if you are interested. So it's the long sleeve version of our Tea of Dream, which is very pretty too. So actually, I think the Tea of Dream is when I discovered Claire. Yeah, that's that's the first pattern of hers I wanted to test. Wow, it's been a while. So yes, so this is how it turned out, and I really like this. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!